Hi, welcome to my video on solving trig equations for 0 less than or equal to theta less than 2 pi. So we want the answer in radians, but this time we want it between, say, 0 and 360 degrees, but not 360. So as in normal, I always work out my answer in degrees first and change it to radians after. So here we go. Let's solve for 0 less than or equal to theta less than 2 pi, but I always work it out in degrees first. So let's solve the equation first for cot. Notice we have cot this time. We move the negative root 2 over to make it positive root 2. I divide both equations by root 2. So I get cot 3 theta plus pi over 6 equals 1. And another thing, change your radian to degrees. So theta is 180 degrees divided by 6. So that's a 30 degrees. So I better make sure I do as a cot. So cot 3 theta plus 30 degrees equals 1. And we have cot, so cot, the reciprocal of cot is tan, so the tan of the angle is reciprocal of 1 is 1. Because where cot is positive or tan is positive is in the same quadrants, so we're just working on the reciprocal. So the reciprocal of 1 is 1. Now I'm going to let 3 times theta plus 30 degrees equal A. So that's the tan of A equals 1. So let's do the tan of the reference angle. And it's, again, there's 1 here, but I always like to do it, make sure that this number is 1. But it is 1, so in this case, the answer we're having that this value of A right here is in the first quadrant. So it's the reference angle. So where do we want to go? We want to go to the first quadrant. Okay. In the first quadrant, perpendicular to the x-axis, tan is 1 over 1. Tan is opposite over adjacent. So in relation to this reference angle, opposite is 1, adjacent is 1. So this hypotenuse here is a root 2. So because it's a 45 right triangle, this is a reference angle. So I have a reference angle of 45 degrees. So what quadrant are we dealing with? We're dealing with add sugar to coffee. And tan is positive. Tan is positive. Cot is positive. Tan is positive in the same quadrant. So tan is positive in first, in all, and in the third. So let's draw first and third. So we have a reference angle of 45 in the first quadrant, which is here. And we have a reference angle in the the third quadrant. So there's a terminal arm. So there's a reference angle here with a 45. So there's your 45. So the rotation here in the first quadrant, you have a 45 degree angle. And the rotation here, that's 180 plus your 45. So that rotation here is 225. Now we have to go with this angle is 3 theta plus 30 degrees is equal to the 45, and 3 times theta plus 30 is equal to 225. But we are trying to find between 0 and 2 pi. So what I do is that I work them all out the same, and I pretend that I'm going to find all of them, and then I'll sub the values of n in. Let me show you. So we got cot. The period of cot is 180. So this is 180 degree n. Again, where n belongs to the integers. And this is 180. So again, the period of tan and cot is 180. The period of sine, cos, secant, and cosecant is 360. So I have to solve this out now. So I'm dividing by 3, so theta plus 30 degrees equals 15 plus 60. So I divide by 3 here, I get theta plus 30, divide by 3 is 15, divide by 3 I get 60. So again here I'm dividing by 3, and 125 divided by 3 is, that's 125 divided by 3 is a 75, and 180 divided by 3 is 60, and we have n belongs to the integers, and we move the 30 over, we get 15 minus the 30 plus the 60, so theta is negative 15 degrees plus 60n, and right here theta is 75 minus the 30 plus the 60 degree n, so theta is 45 plus 60n, and this is where n belongs to the integers. Now I could have again wrote it down every time, that's when you know what you're doing. So n belongs to the integers. Now this is all of them, but we only want the ones between 0 and 2 pi. 2 pi is 2 times 180, so I want the angles between 0 and 360. So let's put, if I put 0 in, so if n is 0, or let's do n and theta. So if I put a negative 1 in here, I get negative 60, I get a negative 75. If I put 0 in, put 0 here, I get 60, 60, and negative 15 is a 45. If I put 1 in, put 0 in here, I get a negative, my mistake, I was working. I put a 0 in, I get a 0, I get negative 15. I put a 1 in, I get a 45. Put 2 in, I get, notice we're adding on 60 each time. So I put 2 in, and I get 120, and 120, subtract 15 is 115. So what you can do here is just add on 60 each time, even though I do. So that's 175, or 60, if I add, right? Add on 60 again, I get 235, and put 5, I get 295, so 60, can't add up. It can't add up, right? I'm talking too much. And 60 again is a 345. And if I do 60 again, I get a 405. So I've done n to be negative 1, 0, so on. So notice, these are the answers that fit. And let's go over and try this one. We got an n, and we got theta. So again, what about a negative 1? We put a negative 1 here, we get negative 60, we get a negative 15. We put a 0 here, we get a 45. We put a 1, and we get 105. Again, I'm adding on 60 each time. I could put the value of n in and work it out, but you can see you're going to add on 60 each time. So 2 will give me 165. 3 will give me 225. 4 will give me 285. And 5 will give me 345. 6 will give me 405. Now these are all degrees. And now we want them in radians, so we convert all these to radians, and you have, but notice that all these answers are the same. So I ran out of space here, So I'm going to go up here and convert these to radians. So 45 is a pi over 4. 105 is, so if you convert the 105, where would I go? 105 times pi over 180. 5 into that goes 21. 5 into that goes 36. That's a 3. 3 into that goes 7. 3 into this goes 12. So this is a 45. And we got a 105. So 105 is 7 pi over 12. And now what about 165? Again, that's going to be over 12. So let's convert, let's take our time. 165 multiplied by pi over 180. 5 into this goes 33. 5 into this goes 36. So 3 into 33 goes 11, and this goes 12. So this is 11 pi over 12. Okay, now we got to convert, what's the next number? The next number is 225. So 225 multiplied by pi over 180. So 5 into 180 goes 36. 5 into this goes 4 5s are 20, 45. Now 9, I see a 9 here. So that's a 5 pi over 4. So this becomes 5 pi over 4. And so we're just converting the radians. So we have a 285 to do now. And I don't want to turn to the next page because I have another problem on the other page. So it's pi over 180. So 5 into that goes 36. 5 into 180 goes 36. 5 in here, 5. 4 5 5s are 25. So that's a 55. So that's gives us is over 12. Let's see. Let's divide by 5. So my head is just gone per second. 5 5s are 25. That's 57. So 3 into that goes 12. 3 into 57 goes 19. So that's a 19 pi over 12. And we have a 345. Let's do 345 right here. We have a pi over 180. And we're dividing by 5, so it's 35. Divide by 5 here. 5 6s are 30, so that's a 69. And 3 into that goes 12. 3 into that goes 23. So that's a 23 pi over 12. Just do a little extra problem doing the conversion. So these are all the answers that fit this equation from 0 to 2 pi. Notice I worked out my answer in degrees, then I changed my degrees to radians. That's the way I do it, to figure it out, because if you had to figure out the answer in radians by itself, you wouldn't do it. So I work it out in degrees first, and then convert my radians. Okay, let's try one more problem. Solve for this equation for 0 less than or equal to theta less than 2 pi. Repeat, it's equal to 0, but not equal to 2 pi. So that's from 0 to 360. So we have a cosecant. So we can change the cosecant is reciprocal of cosecant is sine. Okay. And the reciprocal of cosecant is sine. The reciprocal of a -2 is a -1/2. So I'm going to let 1/3 theta minus pi over 4. First of all, I'm going to change my pi over 4 to 180 divided by 4. So I'm going to change it to a 45. So this is a 45-degree angle here. That's going to be A. So I have the sine of 1/3 minus 45. Change my radiant to degree. 180 divided by 4 is 45. Make it in terms of, that's 45. So I have the sine of, that's a 45. Oh, my mistake, sorry. So I changed my pi over 4 to 45. Now I'm going to let this be A. So what do I do now? I do a reference angle. And it's got to be a pi. So the reference angle is, in the first quadrant, sine is opposite over hypotenuse, because the reference angle is here. That's a 1, 2, so this is a root 3. So that means this reference angle is 30. So we add sugar to coffee, add sugar to coffee. So everything is positive here, sine is positive, tan is positive, cot is positive, and the reciprocals are positive. So what, right here, sine is positive, that means that cosecant is positive, so that means the other 4 are negative. If tan is positive here, cot is positive, but the other 4 are negative, etc. So you've seen that in Trig 1 when we did the unit on trigonometry explaining about the angles. Check it out. And now we go to what quadrants? Let's see. Sine is negative. Sine is negative. Sine is positive here and here. So it's negative in 3 and 4. So we draw a terminal arm in 3. We draw the terminal arm in 4, perpendicular to the x-axis. Rotation is around here. The reference angle is 30 degrees. So this is 180 plus 30. So 180 plus 30. So that's a 210. And there's a reference angle is here. So all the way around, right to here. So that's 360. Come back 30 degrees. So this rotation here is 330. So what we have is that this angle, which is 1/3 theta minus 45 degrees, equals 210. 1/3 theta minus 45 is 330. And this is cosecant, and the period, we have to remember the period of tan and cot is 180. The period of the other ones is 360. So this is 360 degrees N and 360 degrees N. And again, this is N belongs to the integers. And N belongs to the integers. So now we got a fraction, so we got to multiply by 3. Multiply by 3, you get 630. Multiply by 3, you get 1,080. Multiply by 3. Multiply by 3, you get 990. And this one is, multiply by 3 is 1,080. So theta is 630, and we got to add on 45, so 675, 1,080 N. And here we got to add 45, we get 1,035. Okay, this takes a while. Now, we got to put, notice we're looking for the answer 0 less than or equal to theta. We're looking for between 0 and 360. So if you take the value of n and plug in right here, so if you put n is, if you put n is negative, that gives you, if n is -1, that gives you a negative angle. No good. If n is 0, you get 675. If n is 1, you add that up and you get 1755. So none of these, this angle won't work to fit between this restriction. There are many answers, but it won't fit between 0 and 360. So this one is no good. So let's try this one. So now we're going to try right here. Put in n is negative. If n is -1, then that's 1035. So that's -45. If n is 0, we get 1035. Anything after that is going to be larger than 1035. So this one won't work. So that means there's no solution. There's no solution between 0 and 360 or 0 and 2 pi. There are other solutions, but they're not between this restriction. So I decided to give you a problem like this because how do you know there's always an answer? There's answers, but there's not always, again, between the restriction that you want. Okay, that brings us to the end of this video. And if you like my video, click on the like button, click on the subscribe button. Visit my math website, www.mathfullyexplained.com, to find more information about me, my videos, and the content. The content that's on my YouTube channel called Math Fully Explained, which is just one word. Thank you for viewing my video. Hope the video helped you. Bye-bye.